此法会，一切众生请转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱死离苦得乐，速证无生。Build the Sangha with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of assembly and holy living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma here to teach us how to live suffering, attain bliss, and the birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo sadanto suchedoye olahudi samyao samputoshe.
Namo sadanto suchedoye lahadi samyao samputoshe.
无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered even in billions of eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. 好的，感恩今天请法从河南省。Thank you to Ten Transferences all the way from Henan. We're going to invoke spiritual presence next. Invite the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to draw near. One more time. All right. Furthermore, we would like to respectfully acknowledge the Pomo people who practice their spiritual connections to the earth and to all creation in the Ukiah Valley, Yokeo. And we'd like to acknowledge them as traditional custodians and original storytellers of these lands. We offer our respects to their elders past, present, and emerging, and to all First Nations people whose sovereignty was never ceded 就是说我们恭敬地承认有刚被语组 Let's see here. There we go. 我们恭敬地承认 Pomo 人是我们寺院所在地的传统许事者和守护人 Excuse me. 我们向过去、现在和未来的长者们致敬，并且向所有从来没有放弃主权的第一民族的原住民致敬。Bell sound wide resounds throughout 100 million worlds. The Buddha's law is heard and spread all throughout the triple world. The wondrous sounds that everywhere fill the Dharma realm with peace. May those who hear it gain the strength to follow in faith the Buddha's path. 众上传3000劫内，佛法扬万亿国中，共寻其法界和平，利益报他诺厚德。There we go. Put that away. Okay. We'd like to say hello to everyone who is with us today. Glad you've joined. I've stopped my practice of saying hello to everyone who is here because some folks didn't get their names mentioned and decided to quit the lecture. Which was completely not my intention whatsoever in starting the process of saying hello to everyone individually. So when they only put in their phone number, it's hard to know. So better, I remember Master Hua liked to drink hot water or tea on his lecture platform. But when people started to fight over who had the right to make the offering, Shifu simply said, "No more drinks. Stop it." I understand completely where he's at. So if you wonder why I'm no longer saying hello to everyone, that's why. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for joining. 就说欢迎各位参加，无论从哪里，哪一个省、哪个省、哪一个州，哪一个国家，都一概欢迎啊。因为有的人呢，我就没有说名字啊，那个人就写一封信说：“哎呀，你就欺负我了，所以我罢工，我不来听经。”哦，所以我觉得得到相反的作用，所以以后就说一概欢迎参加。So glad you're here. Happy New Year. 新年快乐。这个相片哈，大家看得懂。这一条蛇是真的蛇，这不是 AI 人工智能不是。这一条蛇是蟒蛇，澳大利亚有，这是人的宠物。这一条蛇叫 fractal， 它有个名字它7岁，今年这个相片在拍的时候是母的它住在一个玻璃窗、玻璃盒子读书。今天带到庙上，那天带到庙上给我们介绍。这条蛇用它的舌头来品味道，它知道我太大了，它没办法吃我，它不感兴趣了，就以后就不宰我。This snake is a real snake. It is not AI induced. And when an owner here in Australia brought the snake in, she raised the snake in a terrarium. The snake's name is Fractal. It's a 7-year-old carpet python, beautiful beautiful pattern, the scales here. And pythons are not vegetarian. They eat rodents mostly, or whatever is big enough. But as soon as the snake realized that I was not going to be edible to her, she lost all interest and just poked around. We took, here is another picture of fractal. 这也是 fractal 的这条蛇一个相片。Snakes are very clean. I was amazed, and they are one long muscle. They're very strong. They squeeze, and they're also very alive. Very much a sense of the sentience of the snake. Master Hua's instructions were, 你千万不要惹他们，他们有灵性。师父 said, do not mess with those snakes. They have spiritual natures. So we took that snake and made a New Year's card. 我们就把这条蛇做一个欢迎过年的一个卡，有一个小朋友帮我画这个舌头，就一个 Hi， 你好。So we used Fractal's photo as a basis for a New Year's card, and one of our young artists here added the greetings and the hello from the snake and the hi. So this is where that picture came from. 有的人就说：“哎呀，法师，那条蛇是 AI 做的 ，AI 画的吧？不是。” Sam also 我们这里的护法，翁居士也欢迎这条蛇。Sam Wong got to know the snake, and overcame his fears of snakes in the process. 有一个好处，就是说有这个机会，认识一个不怕人，人不用怕的一条蛇，就是以后你就不怕了。有的蛇应该怕的。我们澳大利亚有一个叫东方咖啡色 Eastern Brown 这条蛇值得怕，它最有毒，这条蛇就没毒了，这个 Python。Now, it's overcoming your fear of snakes is one thing, but there are snakes in Australia that it is very good to be afraid of. They're called Eastern Browns. Australia has 11 of the world's 20 most venomous snakes. 11 of them are here in Australia. And Eastern Browns are among them, and they are here in Queensland. But you learn to recognize snakes and know that snakes are not automatically to be feared. Okay. 好的，那今天我们继续研究我们的where did it go? Just a moment. Let me get my there we are. And I don't know why those closed suddenly. Interesting. Okay. We are, as you will recall from last week, we are in the theme of the 8th transference, Piru Janru. The name of this particular transference is called Janru Xiang Hui Xiang. 这第8回向的名字叫 Janru Xiang Hui Xiang. And it's the appearance of ultimate reality, I guess you could say. In the process of trying to figure out how to explain this section of text, I did a lot of digging into the term Janru, and we are in it. And the best explanation that I know comes not one. You can't do just one, because the Buddha, over his 49 years of teaching, called Janru different things. And it became a name for the holy. became a name for the thing that we enlighten to when we wake up. So it became, including nirvana. Nirvana is one of the names that was given to Janru. Janru was one of the names given to nirvana over the years. 这个 Janru 知道讲到第八回向的时候，这个实在不容易解释。虽然不容易啊，那个讲经的人必须要讲怎么说讲清楚，必须要坦白，他懂不懂？然后不能不讲，所以呢都研究。那在研究当中就知道这个真如是所谓涅槃性也是真实性也是很多名字佛讲法49年749年300余会在这个时候在49年之内佛用很多不同的用语很多不同的这个名相来解释什么叫这个东西涅槃也是，真实性也是，真如也是，所以把它翻译的时候，我们就不是限制于一个用语一个名相。So we're not going to stick with a single meaning in order to understand what is Janru. Okay? So last week we have 100 of them to explain, and we got through 3 of them to start. Having Master Chengguan as our guide from the Tang Dynasty, he spent a lot of time explaining Janru, and he is Master Chengguan is the best when it comes to dividing up into categories. He's Panjiao, this method of assigning, seeing patterns, seeing templates inside of the Dharma. That's what he does best. So he has really gone to town on Janru Xiang Hui Xiang. So he spent a lot of time and effort explaining this passage, and my guess is over the centuries, people have struggled a bit to explain Master Chengguan's categories as he interprets Janru. So I'm going to use mine. I'm going to, borrowing Master Hua, borrowing Shifu's approach, and what I hope people will get from it, I'm going to just tie in everything that I came up with. Okay, so enough explanations. Let's get to the story. So here we go. We'll start. Let's see here. We'll repeat last week's and start again. Here we go. Janru right there. Ready? Here we go. 譬如真如以一切法无性为性，善根回向，亦复如是，了一切法无性为性。Just as true suchness is intrinsically devoid of substance, so too is their dedication of good roots, in that they understand that all phenomena are intrinsically devoid of substance. Okay, pattern. Just the way Janru is something, likewise, Bodhisattva's transference is the same way, in that it. Okay, that's here. Let's do it this way. We'll copy the English. Copy. Bring up our handy-dandy notes page. Pop it in there. make it bigger so everybody can see it. Oh, nice and big. Okay, now let's get the Chinese the same way. Okay, capture that. Paste that in. Get rid of the pinyin and make it bigger. The ancients didn't have word processors in order to do this kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, there we go. All right, now take a look here. I'm going to restate it. So, just like true suchness, just the way true suchness, X, Y, and Z, okay, there's the pattern, just the way true suchness, blah, blah, blah. Bodhisattvas, as they dedicate their good roots, are the same. In that they, let's see, put that back, are the same in that they. Okay. Just the way true suchness will make this, give it a color. Let's see here. Just the way true suchness, blah, blah, blah. Bodhisattvas, as they dedicate their good roots, are the same as in that they, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so there we are. This, the red, is what we're going to be encountering over and over and over, 100 times. Just the way true suchness, whatever it is, Bodhisattvas, as they dedicate their good roots, are the same, or Bodhisattvas' dedication of good roots. Bodhisattvas, plural, possessive, dedication of their good roots is, Bodhisattva's dedication of good roots, is the same in that it. The subject is the dedication, not the Bodhisattvas. Just the way true suchness, whatever it is, 100 times, Bodhisattva's dedication of their good roots, Bodhisattvas are the same, dedications of their good, is the same in that it, whatever it is. Okay? So that's our pattern, and you get to recognize it because it repeats. 就是说，我们这里有个模型在重复。如果我们认识这个模型，我们比较好了解是这么一回事。OK， 就说譬如Janru怎么样？有100次，他就回来了。红就是这个模型，就说譬如Janru是怎么一回事呢？就给我们讲一个比喻，菩萨回向也是这样子的。再来这个比喻。OK， 再来说是如何同样一样的。Okay, so the point of this is finding its these are analogies. We have 100 analogies. just like this, Bodhisattva's dedication is the same way. The point of this is to describe what Bodhisattva's dedication is like. That's what this is about. So we can understand the Dharma method of 回向功德. Okay? Dedicating merit. This 华严经这一品的目的是什么？要我们明白什么叫回向，然后再来自己来修回向的法。那么第八回向就用100个比喻，说这个是Janru是怎么一回事呢？菩萨回向也一样了。用100个比喻让我们明白什么叫回向。Okay? 听得懂吗？100个比喻。All right, I think I got it. That's what's going on here, is we have 100 analogies so that we can understand better what transference is like. The interesting thing is, the thing being analogized, the thing giving us as the familiar example is true suchness, which is like, that's the ultimate. We're talking about the Godhead. We're talking about the spiritual nature. We're talking about the magic, right? We're talking about that feeling of looking up at the stars on a summer's night, lying back in the grass and realizing that it doesn't stop. It just goes on and on and on. So there we go. That's the fun part of studying the Avatamsaka Sutra, and thank you, Shifu, for giving it to us. Here we go. Ready? There it is. Piru Janru Wu Xiang Wei Xiang Shan Gen Hui Xiang Yi Fu Ru Shi Liao Yi Qie Fa Wu Xiang Wei Xiang. Just as true suchness is characterized by the absence of hallmarks, so too are Bodhisattva's dedication of good roots the same way, which is what? They understand that all phenomena are characterized by the absence of hallmarks, nothing you can know them by. Piru Janru 若有得者终无退转善根回向亦复如是若有得者欲诸佛法永不退转 Just as those who realize true suchness are irreversible, so too is their dedication of good roots the same way, in that it enables those who realize it to become forever irreversible in all Buddha dharmas. Okay. So this is slightly different. This doesn't say a quality of true suchness. It's the quality of someone who realizes it. So the focus is those who cultivate and realize Janru, not Janru itself. So one of the qualities of true suchness, true thusness, if you realize it, you will never retreat from your cultivation of the Tao, of the way. Bodhisattva's transference, dedication of good roots, is the same way, in that if you realize it, if you realize the transference, the practice of transference, the practice of transference enables those who realize it to become forever irreversible. Okay, let's look at the Chinese here. Not convinced the translation has it here. 若有得者于诸佛法永不退转 You never retreat from your cultivation of the Buddha Dharma. My take on that is just to say, for example, once you really recognize good health, you're never content with sickness again. Is that the way to say it? So that if the thing about transference, dedication of merit, is it is supremely easy to do. because it's done in the mind with a thought. It takes no effort whatsoever to use your mind in a wholesome, positive, yang, sunlit way. Once you do that and have the flavor and see the results of your transference through the directing of your thoughts in that way, you don't allow the shadows to creep back in, and the doubts and the yininess and the fears and the afflictions to return. 这个意思是说，你依菩萨用他的心来回向，回向这个法门呢，不用任何势力，不用任何的这个身上的力量。为什么呢？回向是用心来回向，你就如法就布施，你就把你的心做布施。这个念头是属于阳的，不是阴的，没有影子的，就是就在光明里边布施那个你到第8回向，菩萨已经没有烦恼就丝毫的烦恼，所以呢，回向的时候哇，心很光明。有这种的作用这种的布施以后，再不让心沉闷与烦恼与这个这种的这个好像让心再有怀疑了，心再有三毒贪嗔痴，以后不会的。好像一个人有健康，就不愿意沉闷到病状，这样子。Okay, like that. Here we go. 譬如真如一切诸佛之所行处，善根回向亦复如是，一切如来所行之处。Just as true suchness is the field of practice of the Buddhas, so too is their dedication of good roots, the Tathagata's field of practice. Yes. You can imagine how Buddha's minds are so substantially different from the mind of living beings. The Samantabhadra's 10th practice, 普皆回向, transferring merit universally in all sides, that is so obviously the crown of the 10 vows of Samantabhadra, which are said to be the path to Buddhahood. It's interesting when Sudana were explaining the chapter 39, the entering the Dharma realm chapter, and Samantabhadra's practices and vows, those 10 are the final answer that Sudana gets after asking 53 teachers how to cultivate the Bodhisattva path. When he sees Maitreya Bodhisattva, he becomes a Buddha. His journey is over. I need to give everybody an explanation here. We're in the peak of summer here in the Gold Coast, and I live in the woods and in the bush, and the bird families have raised their babies now so that the babies are on the wing but still not fully adults. It's a phase that I've seen go through every year, and so we have baby currawongs and baby kookaburras in particular here. We also have baby lorikeets. The baby king parrots have come through already, and they've grown up. But the lorikeets and the currawongs are particularly vocal and the babies are shouting at their parents for food. The parents have already taught them how to feed themselves, and I've seen it happen in front of my eyes. And it's just waiting for the babies to quit relying on the parents because they have learned how. I've been part of the feeding process. So periodically, coming through my porch and my deck here are parents being pursued by their kids and saying, feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me. And the parents are like, nope, feed yourself. You know how. It's time. So this drama is taking place right outside my door. And it's quite, there's pathos because it's time to kick the babies out of the nest. And the parents who have been so protective and so successful in raising them to this point are now turning to them without food in their beaks. And I saw the mother Currawong actually bang her baby with her beak after the baby was pecking at the mother's head, saying, feed me. The mother is starting to say, quit it, you go feed yourself. So that's what you're hearing outside in the microphone. 这里有一个情形要给大家解释哈，我们澳大利亚现在是夏天，这个小小鸟已经可以起飞，可以自己找东西吃，一直到现在，父母就在喂这个年轻的小鸟就把自己的嘴巴拿一个食物放在孩子的嘴里。这个孩子现在独立了，可以明白怎么样，什么叫可以吃的东西，怎么吃法，已经学会了，已经够大了。可是依赖父母，那么他们就追着这个父母，就在我眼前，就在我阳台这里这个栏杆，这个孩子飞下去，就叫。母亲现在对他说：“不要，你自己可以，以后不再喂给你了。”这样子，所以这个时候我每年都会看到这个时候，这个小小鸟的生命的这一品比较苦，为什么呢？因为以后父母给他们 push out of the nest， 从那个窝里边推上，说你可以自己起飞了，很痛苦，所以你们都会听到这个杂音，就是这个事情。Okay, so fascinating to see. The question that I'm raising here is, Tathagatas practice transference? Is that how do they? I wonder how the Buddhas transfer merit. It's just like true suchness. That's where Buddhas practice. So their dedication, the Bodhisattva's dedication of good roots, is also the Buddha's field of practice. Buddha's minds operate differently. I don't know how they dedicate merit. It'd be fascinating to know. 这个呢，就说真如是什么？真如是诸佛所行的地方。菩萨回向也一样了。是怎么样？就是如来菩萨的回向也是佛修行的地方。那个如来怎么样回向呢？他们的心不动了，很有意思。我们没办法知道这个佛的境界。不过我们我们知道就是普贤菩萨叫善财童子答复他的问题，说普界回向是最高的修行的方法那么善财童子已经成佛，他修这个回向的法门是跟如来所修的这个法门一样吗？也不知道。 譬如真如离境界相而为境界，善根回向亦复如是，离境界相而为三世一切诸佛圆满境界。Okay. Just as true thus suchness is beyond the phenomenal world while being one with the phenomenal world, so too is Bodhisattva's dedication to good roots. It is beyond the phenomenal world, and yet it brings into being the perfect states of Buddhas of the three periods of time. Okay, so true suchness, what's it like? True suchness allows the Bodhisattva to have this mirror-like reality. You see this, I'm out of my depth, but I'm going to propose what I think it means. The Bodhisattvas, you see them in the world, and yet you know there's more going on. From the sixth state of all of the Bodhisattvas' various collections of 10 things, the 10 abodes, the 10 dwellings, the 10 practices, the 10 dedications, the 10 inexhaustible transferences, the inexhaustible dedications, the 10 grounds. In all of those, the 10 exhaustible treasuries, I should say, the 10 grounds. In each of those collections of 10, series of 10, when you get to number 6, there is a change. That's the prajna phase. And the prajna phase, because of what? Because of emptiness. At that point, vows take over. And when you realize emptiness, arhats seek nirvana, or the attitude of that, what's called the smaller vehicle, not naming any person, but that attitude, stops. There's no further coming into being. The Bodhisattva, based on their vows at that point, experiences emptiness but continues to work in the phenomenal world to rescue beings. That's what makes a Bodhisattva so admirable. So that's the prajna phase. And if you, the proof text of that claim is the prajna paramita, which has what? Has statements like Bodhisattvas cross over every living being, and there's no living beings crossed over. So that shows you the mirror-like quality of this, which is here. Beyond the phenomenal world, and yet one with the phenomenal world. Likewise. 就是说，华严经给我们那个53那个地步，十住、十信、十住、十行、十回向、十无尽藏、十地，在每一个10个当中，第6个地步是般若的地步。在那个时候，修行人证得这个离缘生性空这样子。到那个时候，修行人知道一切法，这个本来以缘成功，而依缘而成，依缘而灭哈。那个缘和合的时候，中缘和合的时候，它就成了，就有这么一个法。可是呢，到那个缘呢离开、分开的时候，不合的时候，那个法就没有了。正的那个实性，那个时候菩萨愿就存在，就有生那个愿，发这个愿，就有个菩萨；不发那个愿，就有所谓小乘。小乘不是个人， 是一种态度，是一种心，就到第6个地步，就在面对这个空性的真实境界，菩萨法愿继续，他不停着修行，就继续发愿度众生，就是这个。所以菩萨从那个时候就有所以我们就尊重，所以我们就羡慕，我们就赞叹就随菩萨道。那么就说真如立住境界而为境界一样的，到第6个地步，面对空而不退。上根回向亦复如是。菩萨回向的时候怎么样？离境界相而为三世一切诸佛圆满境界。对了，继续修行这个法。Okay, got it? I think that's the important thing to say, is when we get to that 6th state of facing emptiness in your meditation, if you sit still long enough, you can get there. Shifu would say so. You have to pass through the dhyanas, you get to that first dhyana, and progressively see and let go. First you empty out the self, then we empty out dharmas. Bodhisattvas empty out the self, they don't empty out dharmas, they say. I'm sorry, arhats do that. Arhats can empty out the self and see that that is a construction, and that is profound. You're not selfish at that point. You have realized the emptiness of self. But the emptiness of dharmas requires you to sit still longer. That's not so easy. You have to keep at it. But the liberation of that allows you to do all the other wonderful things that bodhisattvas can do. 就说到你愿意证得这个空法空，你所谓二空，就说我空法空。这个罗汉呢，证得这个我空，已经解脱了，那个境界相当不容易的。我们就执着我所有，能证得我相，哇，不容易。你要打坐，要静坐，可以念佛也可以不过都是平时就打坐入定有这种的定力的话，就我空了，那相当不容易。继续做那个三昧深深的经过这个四禅，那么法空了那个时候你就会继续做菩萨能做到的所有这些方塞我们研究的这些境界方塞就说在这个第8回向赞叹菩萨的种种的境界，都是从还有我们那个第39入法界品的这个第4位这个善住比丘他那个神通妙用，都是因为他已经就我空法空的关系。So in the introduction to our 8th transference, we ran through the Bodhisattva's abilities. Here, then we get this comparison to Janru. In chapter 39 that we're also explaining on Saturdays or Sundays, depending on where you are. The teacher of Sudana, the monk whose name is Janru, wholesome abode, good liver, good roommate, good to live with. He demonstrates his ability with psychic powers, and that's indeed, he can do that because he has emptied out both the self and dharmas. Indeed. Okay, how are we doing here? Let's check out another analogy. These are so rich, and we just go through them one by one. We could stop with any one and just be absolutely full, right? Whew. Piru Janru Nang Yo An Li 善根回向亦复如是，悉能安利一切众生。Okay. Just as true suchness settles all firmly, so too does their dedication of good roots settle all living beings firmly. Okay. To settle someone firmly sounds like worldwide wrestling. Right? I'm going to settle you firmly on this mat. No, 能有安利. What does that mean? So, true suchness, here's one way to explain it. This Janru, the thing about Janru is that it's an ultimate. You don't go further. This is a bottom line. This is a square one, is Janru. We're talking, the analogy the sutra gives us says, I want you to understand Bodhisattva's Shangan Hui Xiang, right? We're in metaphor land, analogies. So the transference of Bodhisattvas is just the same as what? Janru, the ultimate reality. Here's how. It's the same because it can set you down. It can give you peace. You can rest on it. There's nothing else beyond this. This is a bottom line. Bodhisattva's transference is able to settle living beings, take them to Buddhahood, because you're sharing your merit with them. Ultimately, their merit becomes the same, becomes full. Okay? 就说菩萨善根回向就是这样子，怎么样子呢？我给你一个例子，我给你一个比如，譬如真如。哦，那好，那我明白菩萨回向，可是我不明白真如是怎么一回事。哦，那就这个比喻就不行了。哦，等一等，我给你讲清楚。真如是哪一方面能有安利？这个安利怎么呢？就说真如是一种基本的道理，非道理，一个原始的境界，原始的法，原始的事实。怎么样呢？就说真如是那个 square one， 英文叫 square one， 就是开始最基本的开始，最原始的第一步，没有什么比真如更坚固、更原始。OK， 那菩萨的回向呢是怎么样？能安利一切众生，菩萨就回向功德，就要众生跟他有万德倍就像如来，就像佛。那这样子呢，解脱了，菩萨可以另外来度众生。Okay? Bodhisattvas want living beings to be anli, set in this basic foundation, so that once they're taken across, the Bodhisattva can take someone else across, start on the next living being. That's why it takes a long time, many lifetimes, right? Okay, now from here, let's now look at the list of let's look at some research into Janru. Let's give everybody here. We need to. Okay. Bigger, please. Thank you. There we go. Yep. Oh. Okay. Let's see. That's too big. True suchness. True suchness is one of those funny Sanskrit words. Bhuta 他。Janru. Sanskrit is bu do do ta do. Bu do ta do. Bu ta ta. That's why nobody likes to say it, because you wind up going, you say 4 tas. Bu, then ta. Bu ta ta. Bu do ta do. So in the Vajra Sutras, it's translated as Janru Shin. So what does Jan mean? Jan, the first word of Janru is true and real. Zhi, the meaning of ultimate truth. It's also my name. Yay! So ultimate truth. Ru, the second word, is Chang, eternal. Always true. So ultimate truth. 诸法之体性理虚空而真实. The nature of phenomena in the world, the things that our senses perceive, once beyond anything false. That's true. 就说大家看得到，看那个汉字，真，我们把真如这2个字来分开来解释。真就是真实，真实是究竟的，真实没有什么啊。如呢，就说长恒不变，长恒不变真实，就说这是诸法的体性。诸法就是我眼耳鼻舌身意所看到的、听到的、闻到的、碰到的，没有丝毫虚妄，那就真实；没有一点点的虚妄、虚假，那就常常这样子呢，就是真如。常住而不变，不改啊。OK， 就要叫如，所以常常真实。Okay, that's one. We won't need all the translations. Okay, Buddha ta ta ta, translated as the nature of suchness. The meaning of reality, signifying the essence of all dharmas, is free from illusion, genuinely real. Okay, it's always the same, unchanging and immutable. We don't need multiple definitions. One is plenty. Okay, now we get to the interesting thing, which is there's more than one translation. We don't need multiple definitions. It won't help. We need multiple translations to see how the Buddha explained it in the past. So look at these lists. 自性, 清净, 心, the mind that is pure, and the self-nature of that mind, the inherent intrinsic nature of the pure mind. Sounds Buddhist, doesn't it? That's Buddhist language. I recognize that. 就说我们要问佛陀，在不同的时候讲到基本恒常不变的真实性呢，用什么文字，用什么名字，就不一样的名字。自性、清净、心是一个，还有佛性。All right, Buddha nature, that's a name he used. 法身, the Dharma body. Oh, that's Janru. Okay, so in other words, Janru are the term that we're dealing with every day now for 100 times over in transference, has other names. So Buddha nature is one of them. Dharma body, right? Dharma body, what else? The reward body and the transform bodies, the 3 bodies of the Buddha. Janru is that first one, the Dharma body that is so hard to define. 就说有三身 对不对？有三体，不是那本书，那个小说。三身、法身、报身、化身，法身也是真如，真如也是法身，不容易解释，就是真如。Okay? The Tathagata Garbha, oh boy, that's another one, like Buddha Tatata. Okay, Tathagata Garbha, the storehouse. Oops, come back here. The storehouse, the Buddha's womb, otherwise known as matrix. The Buddha's matrix sometimes. You can think of what that means to you. That's Janru. 好，那么这个如来藏在看，因为佛教有2500年的历史，所以很长的时间，大家在那儿讲用不同的名相就解释也是真如。Okay? Now, don't quit. I know some people's heads are spinning. They say, this is way, I'm full already and you're still pushing food at me. Yes, we are. That's where we are. This is the 8th transference. This is not simple cause and effect stuff. We're looking at the mountain peaks here, so stick with us. 有的人就说太多，我吃饱了，我的法身已经饱了。等一等，你要用忍耐心呢，这不是简单的因果的道理，这是看那个山林高峰的那个山峰。所以第8回向我没有跟你们讲过，说这是不容易明白，我们要试一试 stretch your mind， 心量要放大。Okay? Ultimate reality, 实相, there's a good one. Real mark, we used to say real mark prajna. Ultimate reality prajna. The Dharma realm. What is the Dharma realm? That is true suchness. 实相就是真如，真如就是实相。How many times have you heard a Dharma master who is good at prajna, literary prajna? This was, if you can throw around literary prajna, you can say things like this. The Dharma realm is true suchness. True suchness is just the Dharma realm. And everyone goes, wow, that sounds really deep. He must be explaining really good Dharma, but I don't understand a word of it. 真如就是法界，法界就是法性，法性就是真如，真如就是实相。文字不了，可以了，我们就要了解哈。Perfected true nature, 圆成实性。Wow, there you are. Now, these terms come up. Why? I don't want to sound snarky or like I'm taking it lightly. I'm not. I'm saying that inquiring minds want to know what is the ultimate truth. And over 49 years of explaining things that the Buddha wanted us to understand, he used different language to try to get us to experience it. And these are some of those terms. Look, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here, a list of 8 terms that have been used over in the past to explain Janru. 我并不是轻视这里，我就说我们人什么时候心要明白最深、最真实、最深深、最深入的道理，我们什么时候问到底佛性是怎么一回事？佛讲法，各个大的高僧讲法，要我们明白，要出来一种满足我们的求法的心，用的字用了很多，不是一个字，不是一个用语，不是一个法，就是冥想， 用了很多自性、清净心、佛性、法身、如来藏、实相、法界、法性、缘成、实性，都是真如，真如都是这些。所以我们第八回向就要碰到这个。Okay? Now, mind you, this is just one list that I've come up with so far. So we're going to pause briefly, let you catch your breath, and say that there will be more. We'll come back and plug in again to look at the ultimate. And if it were simple, we could just, for comparison's sake, you can just go get baptized and say you're saved. Let those sky pilots deal with all the fancy language. Right? More. Here we go. 譬如真如性常随顺，善根回向亦复如是，尽未来劫随顺不断。Just as true suchness accords, just as true suchness is in constant intrinsic accord with everything, so too are Bodhisattva's dedication of good roots in constant intrinsic accord with everything until the end of future eons. There you go. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. I guess in Mendocino County you can't say that carelessly, can you? Just so, true suchness, what's it like? It's in constant intrinsic accord with everything. Bodhisattva's transference also is in constant intrinsic accord with everything till the end of future eons. One reason that you could make that claim is because it's only a thought, and thoughts touch, minds touch. 怎么会随顺尽未来界随顺不断吗？因为回向就是一个念头，没有形象，心与心碰，不会互相障碍，光与光互相射一样。Okay. 譬如真如无能测量，善根回向亦复如是，等虚空界尽众生心无能测量。Just as true suchness is unfathomable, so too is their dedication of good roots, which equals empty space and is unfathomable to living beings who wish to ponder it. I think that's should be split. Who wish to ponder it together. Okay, ponder it is not a word. Ponder it. You need a space between. So just the way true suchness is, there's no way to 测量. You can't get around it to define it. It keeps going, just like space. So too, when bodhisattvas dedicate merit, are that way too. They're unfathomable, because it's just like empty space, and living beings who sit down and try to get a formula to define it all can't. So does that make you uncomfortable to look out at the stars? And I heard Carl Sagan the other day count the number of suns in our galaxy, and then say that our galaxy is, he gave what's it called? The number above an exponent. He says it's 1 to the how many zeros exponentially multiplied. So the chances of there being life are pretty darn good, that there should be more sentient life in the universe. So 就说譬如真如没有办法思考，没有办法就说我能明白多少，我们可以分多少分类，就说就判教，我们就会知道判类多少。善根菩萨回向功德一样，怎么样一样法呢？就是等虚空界尽众生心无能测量。 Carl Sagan 那个科学家，就说沟通科学家 Carl Sagan 他懂，不过他的好处是他能解释。Carl Sagan 就说我们这个 galaxy 里边有多少太阳，每个太阳有多少机会，就说有这个行星，那个星星会不会有人有六道轮回，有众生在那儿活着呢？他说机会大。然后呢，他说我们那个 galaxy 有多少 galaxy， 他用那个数目多少个零字，说应该有机会，这个宇宙之间会有其他的地方有众生在那儿住所以心量一定要放大，没办法测量多大。譬如Janru充满一切，善根回向，亦复如是，一刹那中普咒法界。Just as true suchness is universal, so too are Bodhisattva's dedication of good roots universal, in that they reach every corner of the Dharma realm within a single kshana. 怎么会这样? How could they do that? It's because they don't have a strong view of themselves. They're not interested in getting benefit and being selfish. They don't, I can't do it. I can't do politics. OK, 就说菩萨如何回向善根呢？他们心里清净，他没有我见我相，结果回向的时候充满一切。Okay, two more. Let's do two more. Come back. What happened here? Piru Janru 常住无尽，善根回向亦复如是，究竟无尽。Just as true suchness remains timeless, so too do Bodhisattva's dedication of good roots never come to an end. Okay, our analogies are getting simpler, aren't they, here? So, timeless, never ends. How far do thoughts go before they stop? How far does a musical note go? Let's listen to a musical note. How far does that go before it stops? Does it stop? As it goes out into space, 就说没有完了，没有停的时候，菩萨回向是这样子。那么那个音乐的声音什么时候停？看看这个 see here, original sound is on. 这把眼睛它又高又清净。还在，听不到。OK， 那我的耳朵听不到，它往外透过虚空，什么时候停，在哪里停不知道。菩萨回向功德一样的。OK， all right, one more. 譬如Janru无有比对。善根回向亦复如是，普能圆满一切佛法无有比对。Wow, what a good one. Just as true suchness is beyond compare, so too are their dedications of good roots beyond compare in perfecting all Buddha Dharmas. Okay, Bodhisattvas, as they dedicate their good roots, there's nothing quite like that. It brings all Buddha Dharmas to perfection as living beings accept that merit and virtue and become perfected. So, when does light fill up a room? When it's bright enough? When do living beings become Buddhas? When their merit and virtue is perfected. 就说 有用菩萨在那儿回向功德，希望众生的功德就圆满，就成佛了。什么时候一个房间的光度就够光嘛，够光亮呢？就满的时候，要天光，它就够了，成佛了。OK， 回向就是这个。Hey, we finished a page of Piru analogies. Let me highlight it. Okay, we'll come back here next time. Next week, we will continue. We've got, Shelley, you want to see it? Let's see, let's bring it down here. Where are we? We're now on page 28, 29. To finish, we shouldn't look ahead. Coming up to the end. 28, 29, all the way to 56. That's how many analogies we have to go. Hey, stick with us, friends. We will be really clear about what Bodhisattva's transferences are like. Okay. 吃饱多吃点。好，谢谢。Let's see here. Good. Okay. 谢谢。我没吃饱，我等我讲完了，我才能吃饭。现在快下午3点。所以给大家讲了，我肚子饿了。我就等讲完了，我才能吃饭。我还是日中一吃。为什么呢？吃完了我就头昏脑胀了。等我消化之后，所以呢，我是为法忘躯为大家了。没关系，每天吃饭没什么意思。等我死了之后，这才不吃了，所以这个没什么意思。听完佛法才有意思。So somebody says I should eat more. Well, actually, to tell you the truth, I don't eat until I'm finished. I eat once a day, and it's now almost 3 o'clock. I have to wait until 3 o'clock to get any food on the days I lecture for all of you. Why is that? It's because once I eat, the blood sugar makes my head fuzzy, and my lectures are less interesting by far. So the phrase is forgetting my personal comfort for the sake of the Dharma. Yeah, because the Buddha Dharma, the Avatamsaka Sutra, is really tasty, really interesting. I mean, what else have you heard today that talks about the ultimate, right? And gives you so many pictures of the ultimate. 今天还会听到什么？就讲那个究竟的真理，而且呢，给我们那么多比喻解释什么叫真理，什么叫真实，没有了所以这才算很有意思，好吃。All right, now, furthermore, because I want folks to enjoy the time we spend together, so come right to it. Here we go. Where are we? We are here. Take a look. 玄奘大师呢，就到一个地方，他的地方叫 Jalandhar. Okay? Jalandhar is here. Where is Jalandhar? Jalandhar is right there. 好，玄奘大师就到这里来，就是在 Punjab. Currently, Punjab is northeastern India. Here is Jalandhar right there. He was in Jammu, Kashmir. He spent, here's Gujarat. That's Gujarat, that's not Gujarat. Master Xuanzang just spent 14 months studying with an elder, a Brahmin who was 700 years old, and he left him and came now to Jalandhar. So that teacher was up here. Where are we? we are here. Okay, he is just, Kashmir is the border. It's the border of Afghanistan and Pakistan, what is now Pakistan, and India. And he has come through this area on his way down to Nalanda University. So 我们可以看到玄奘大师经过现在的巴基斯坦，现在的 Kashmir， 快还没到印度，正是印度快到了，所以他就在这个地方叫 Jalandhar。Okay, got it? Got the idea? Here it is. 又从此东行500余里，至那菩提国，以此舍萨那色，有大德，毗尼多波拉婆，被印度度王子，好风逸山山上，自造乌云。Let's see, we did a list last time. Okay, 大乘东南。行50余里，至达摩苏法那僧伽蓝，就是暗林，僧徒300余人，学说一切有部。OK， 学说一切有部，论那个律。OK， 贤解千佛，皆当于此地，即人天说法。释迦如来涅槃后。第300年中，有迦多衍那论师于此智发智论。Okay, these titles. Continuing his journey southeast to the big city for 50 li, he reached the Tamasavana Monastery. 300 monks lived there who studied the teachings of the Sarvastivadana school, mostly a Vinaya tradition, Sarvastivadans. The 1,000 Buddhas of the Bhadra Kalpa will all come to this place to preach the Dharma for men and devas. In the 300th year after the nirvana of the Buddha, the Shastra master Katyayana composed the Abhidharma Jnana Prasthana Shastra in this monastery. Okay, so check this out. If that was all we heard today, that would be amazing. That is to say, there are places in India, in Mother India, where the 1,000 Buddhas in succession who come one by one in the Bhadra Kalpa, in the worthy Kalpa, will all come to the same place to speak Dharma at some point. So Shakyamuni Buddha is Buddha number 4 of the Bhadra Kalpa. Maitreya will be number 5. And so there was a great teacher, Katyayana, who 300 years after the Buddha's nirvana, that would be somewhere in the 2nd century before the Common Era, explained a Shastra there called the Abhidharma Jnana Prasthana, the wisdom, the jnana, the knowledge of the Abhidharma. Spoke a Shastra there. So how cool is that? Let's see here. Oh gosh, I went too long explaining the true suchness. So if I don't stop now, the monks will be unhappy because they have to do the mantra heart. So we'll just let that fact be enough for now, thinking that there are places on our earth where 1,000 Buddhas all come one by one by one. 这个我们的地球，我们的世界有一个地方，就印度，1000尊佛都会到那个地方来，就讲经说法，多么奇妙，很微妙，有这么有福气的一个地方，1000尊佛同样到同样的地方来，给你讲经。Okay, that's pretty amazing, isn't it? 因为对不起，我讲华严经讲的时间长，结果 玄奘大师就一个事情够了 ，OK。Can we please transfer the merit? This world needs help. And we can help with our minds, just like true suchness. 我们会想功德的时候，就像真如一样，帮助这个世界。Om Namo Bhagavate Satyaguru Vaidurya Prabharajaya Tathagata Arahate Samyak Sambuddhaya Tathagata Om Vasaji Vasaji Vaisaja Sagati Swaha Om Namo Bhagavate Satyaguru Vaidurya Prabharajaya Tathagata Arahate Samyak Sambuddhaya Tathagata Om Vasaji Vasaji Vaisaja Sagati Swaha. One more time. Om Namo Bhagavate Satyaguru Vaidurya Prabharajaya Tathagata Arahate Samyak Sambuddhaya Tathagata Om Vasaji Vasaji Vaisaja Samukate Swaha Om. Let's bow to the Buddhas. We ready? Here we go. Bow in respect to the Venerable Master. Okay, that's going to do it for us for today. Amitofo. See you all next week. Amitofo. Happy New Year, everybody.